What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop Thursday NBA slate, so I got my guy Jay Money with me. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, NBA Talk with Jay. He's on there daily, breaking down games. I am your host, Sean Little. Thursday slate, no NBA Cup because we got the quarterfinal locked in and ready to go. Nothing, no more group play there. Got the W on Tuesday. Told you about those Knicks. Let's continue to stack a couple W's. We're recording this live from our Tommy John home studio. Go pick up some Tommy John stuff, man. I mean, when we talk about stocking stuffers, these are perfect. The underwear, the pajamas, the tops, everything is super cozy and just great overall quality stuff. I have some myself, so go grab some of that Tommy John. You know the deal. We get the play, we get the cap, we get you guys out of here. J Money is money. Give me your best bet for the Thursday NBA slate.
I'm going to take the Houston Rockets on the money line, minus 125.
We're on the same game. I'm going to go with the first half under here. Right before we hopped on, a couple guys got ruled out. I'll take first half under 108.5, 109.5. It should be right around that number. Get the best number you can. We'll call it for the pod. First half under 108.5 on the total. All right, J Money. Back-to-back pods. We're back in Houston. Tough L on Tuesday. Now they go to Golden State, the team they'll be playing in the quarterfinal in the group in the NBA Cup next week. Why are you looking at Houston here?
Yeah, and I know what the Warriors are probably doing. They're probably trying not to show too much because they probably want their game for the quarterfinal a little bit much. But going back to the well with the Rockets here, I still think this is one of those young teams that is really trending high in the NBA. These two teams obviously have history as well. I don't know exactly how many games they've lost in a row to the Warriors, but I know they've lost the last 10 matchups versus the Golden State Warriors. So major revenge spot here for the Houston Rockets. Torrey Eason won't be playing this game, but we've heard him come out and say, like, look, I hate the Rockets. Man, I hate the Warriors. Both of these teams pretty much hate each other here, but I do think this is probably one of the best opportunities for the Rockets to get a win over the Warriors there. They're in a bounce back spot. Even though they lost versus the Kings, still wasn't a bad game as well. And obviously they didn't really have much to play for in that cup as well, but still 8-2 against the spread last 10 games, been playing some good basketball. Defense has been locked in as well, so I could definitely see your under spot hitting as well. But like I say, I like the Rockets here to bounce back and to finally get a win over the Golden State Warriors in this. They were probably looking ahead to this game as well. So I'll rock with the Rockets in this one to finally get over that losing streak for against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, and if we're going to talk about the revenge spot, they lost to them earlier this year, went to overtime. Tough L there for the Houston Rockets, but they have been playing some of their best ball of the year of late. I'm going to dive into some numbers when we're talking about the total. Ime Udoka, that was a really interesting game in Sacramento. The line was bouncing all over the place. It was crossing zeros. They went from the favorite to the underdog back and forth. It's a grinded out game. Ime Udoka gets ejected in the game. Went to the presser and flat out said, I told the ref to get some fucking glasses. He's not seeing what I'm seeing out here on the floor. He was fired up. It is defense first, but they're expecting to win games. I think that's the biggest thing when we talk about a head coach and a culture setter is they're coming in night to night expecting to win games, and that's exactly what's going on in Houston right now. The Golden State Warriors are in an interesting position. They've lost 5 in a row. One thing that Jay didn't mention right before we hopped on, injury report drops. No Steph Curry in this matchup. No Draymond Green in this matchup. The two most pivotal guys on offense for the Golden State Warriors, I could argue. And that is also why I'm leaning to this first half under J Money. I'm going to jump right into my cap, and we could talk about it after. Let's go first half on the total. Under 108.5, 109.5 is the number that we'll probably get. Get the best number you can. I would play it down to 108.5. Last 13 games, Houston 10-3. Culture setter Ime Udoka has those guys locked in. Last 10 games, number 1 in the NBA in defensive rating. Not number 2, number 1. They haven't played the toughest offenses, but Golden State the last 10 games over that same stretch are 26th in offense. They've been struggling on that side of the rock. Overall, just on the eye test, the analytics, everything tells me the Golden State Warriors came out the gate playing white hot. We're playing way over their head. Buddy Hield was shooting like 60% from three. All types of stuff was going on for Golden State. And we're like, wow, is Golden State back? Do they have an opportunity to compete in the West? That chatter started. And now we're getting a little, I don't know if they're as bad as losing their last 5 games in a row, but they're back down to earth a little bit. And on the exact flip side, on the other bench, I believe Houston's ascending. And they really have an opportunity to compete. The Jalen Green situation, him being up and down offensively, is interesting. He killed the Kings on Tuesday, but then the game before he struggled. A couple games ago, he had 40 plus. It's been up and down. If they can get some consistency from him, depending on what happens here with Fred VanVleet, who's questionable on the injury report, that could be interesting for this matchup as well. Because it seems like if Jalen Green has good offensive games, they are even tougher than they look when it comes to just their cohesiveness. Şengün, Green, Dylan Brooks bringing whatever is necessary, who has played a lot better offensively, who we talked about the other night. Let's continue to talk about some of these numbers. During that same stretch, the Rockets are only 17th in offense over the last 10 games. It's just, this is, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be a defense-first start to the game because the Rockets have also been on the road a bunch. They've been going to overtime. They have 2 overtimes the last 6 games. They've been in some grinded-out games. I think you're going to get max effort from both of these squads early, and that's kind of how it's been all year as well. When we started looking at the trends for the over-under in the first half, Houston, 8 and 14 to the under in the first half. The Golden State Warriors are 9 and 11 to the under in the first half. But then when we talk about Golden State at home, 3 and 5 to the under, Houston on the road in the first half is 2 and 8 to the under. So they've had defense first starts and offensively have had a hard time on the road getting going. So I just like the first half under in this spot. I think it's going to be, at one point before Steph and Draymond got ruled out, I saw FanDuel hang a 225.5 on this game. It's down to 218.5. I just think it's going to be, buckets are going to be hard to come by, especially when both teams are fresher legs, better D in that first 2 frames. Familiarity, Jay talked about it. These teams know each other very well. And I agree with Jay that this might be a little bit also more of a grind because of that next week matchup that they have to play. That could potentially be why it's a little more grinded out offensively for me. I know that's a little bit of a narrative play, but I do agree with Jay that they played earlier this year. Now they have to play next week. We have this game stuck in the middle. It's just going to be offensively a little grind, especially for just 2 defensive first teams. Curry out, Draymond Green out once again. We'll see what happens with Fred VanVleet. Keep your eye on the injury report across the board. Jay, I know you're not a totals guy, but sometimes I know you're very good with game scripts. I feel like this just has all the makings of a slow start in the first half. 2 defensive teams very familiar with each other. Now we get Steph and Draymond ruled out, VanVleet questionable. It just seems like it could be a slow start here in Golden State. And Golden State's lost 5 in a row. I feel like they're going to come out and try to at least rest on their laurels of being a defense first team as well.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the fact that the Warriors have lost 5 in a row. Obviously, they're going to be chomping at the bit to try to get a win, but they're also just not really playing good basketball. And that's even with Steph Curry out there as well. So, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we know that without Draymond Green, their defense is totally different out there. He's literally like the quarterback on defense. Like it's equal to like in NFL, you missing your start middle linebacker or whoever is calling the plays on defense. That's kind of how it is whenever they're missing Draymond out there. So they did almost beat the Nuggets, but we know in crunch time and closeout games, when it's time to close out the game, they really need Draymond defensively and offensively setting the picks, and they also need Steph Curry as well. So in this particular spot, if the Rockets can't beat them without Steph and Draymond, like I don't think they're ever going to beat them. They were down 31 points earlier this year, were able to storm all the way back to push that game to overtime. They did end up losing that game in overtime, but that one was without Steph as well. But I think if they can If they can keep this game close, when it comes down to the fourth quarter, that's when the Rockets should really be able to put down the hammer. This team has been playing great defense. We know Udoka's going to have the boys ready and try to end this losing streak against the Warriors here. So I'm liking the Rockets in this particular spot. I'll live and die with this spot here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to looking at the props market when that comes out, because they're going to have to. Golden State's got to backfill a lot of usage here. We saw them just take another L without Draymond Green on the floor. You make some really good points on Draymond when he's not out there suited up for the Golden State Warriors. And then we're talking about the last game out versus Denver, Steph Curry took 15 threes. Just like they just account on him for so much offense. I'm interested to see how they backfill that. Is it Andrew Wiggins? Is it Buddy Hield? Keep an eye on that prop market and how that comes about. I'm looking forward to seeing what numbers they hang. I would look at like a Buddy Hield plus 15 points. I would look at Andrew Wiggins at a plus 20, see what those type of numbers are. I'm not the biggest prop player, but yeah,
Podziemski is going to have to go crazy for them to have a chance, in my opinion. Wiggins is questionable here as well. So I know for me, I'm hoping he doesn't play, honestly. But yeah, definitely Buddy Hield and Podziemski, that's going to have to be where the majority of their scoring comes from, in my opinion. And could be another spot where they could really be missing DeAnthony Melton as well. He's out. I believe he's out for the season. So we knew at some point that was going to take a toll on them. And looks like if Hield's not going crazy, if Buddy Hield's not making threes, there's damn near like he's really pointless out there on the floor. If he's busting threes, like, you know what I'm saying, he can take the Warriors to a different level. But if Hield's not hitting threes, if Podziemski's not going mini Steph here, they might get smoked by 20 points here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I expect max effort from both sides. With Houston coming off a really bad loss, now they're missing both stars. Curry will have those guys fired up. That's why I really like the under in this first half spot. I wish I was able to give out the earlier number that was on the board, but it is what it is right now. I still think it's a low scoring first half. I like that first half under. J Money's on the full game for the Houston Rockets. I am on the first half under. Get the best number you can, 108.5, 109.5. J Money, any other thoughts on this Thursday slate? What was the first matchup out that you looked at? Anything else caught your eye before you went to Houston? I was really interested to see what that Knicks Hornets number was going to be with them coming off the 1-point win. Now I believe the Knicks are starting to roll a little bit here, but 15 was a little too rich for me. I couldn't lay 15 with the Knicks. Anything else catch your eye before we get out of here?
Yeah, I wish I could give the guys a little bit more. Unfortunately, guys, I am a little bit under the weather, so I'd never like to call in for work or anything like this. So I'm pushing through for the pod here, but I can't say that my throat is like absolutely killing me right now, man. So I'm gonna try to be good for my show tomorrow on YouTube, but for right now, the Rockets is all I have right now, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, J Money is money. To recap, Rockets money line. I am on the first half under. Get the best number you can, 108.5, 109.5. Should be right around there. For J Money is money, I am your host, Sean Little. Go subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. Go download the Action Network app. Go get a pro subscription. Tons of extra additional information you get there. It's worth the money. Until next time, this is your Tuesday, Thursday crew. Get buckets, baby. We'll see you.